We turned down this corner, whoa.
Hundreds of people darting across here and there.
And then there's someone cutting a chicken's head off to this side.
I was already terrified about that.
Yeah!
Oh my God, he's gonna crash.
This is the story about the first time we ever got to ride a motorcycle while shooting. So, Vietnam, we're looking at images online and just saying, this looks awesome.
By far one of my favorite locations we've ever been to. There was a huge amount of culture shock in arriving in Southeast Asia. I had never experienced anything like that in my life. The hustle and bustle of these cities, the amount of people, not anything like I've experienced in Western culture.
The biggest issue in Vietnam for us was that we couldn't rent a car. No car? How do you do this without a car?
You can either get a driver, or you have to rent a motorbike.
The Vietnamese make bike riding look easy. It's a little bit bigger deal for those of us that don't ride a bike through crowded city streets every day of our lives.
It was pretty intimidating knowing that we were going to have to ride motorbikes around Vietnam, because the second we get there, we get into a taxi and we just notice it's a sea of motorbikes.
Look at all the motorcycles, right?
There doesn't appear to be traffic laws in terms of like using turn signals. People are just darting every which way.
We saw one guy with kegs, like 3 or 4 kegs stacked up on the back of his motorcycle like it's no big deal.
That was an adventure and a half, just because I'd never ridden a bike before.
This was the very first time Ford and I had ever been on a motorbike.
Ford, you ready for your first motorbike experience there?
And our very first shoot requires us to ride this bike all the way across Phú Quốc Island to our location. Making matters more tricky is that we're using GPS on our phone.
So Ryan is ahead of me, just kind of being the navigator. I'm following him on the motorbike, but he has to hold his phone and ride with one hand. So I'm just sitting here thinking like, oh my God, he's gonna crash. Secondly, our GPS isn't as reliable sometimes.
The GPS that we're using was really eager to redirect us in different ways, and I'm not seeing it all the time. And so, of course, our very first bike ride, while we're still learning how to do this, we turned down this corner, whoa.
We find ourselves in the middle of a very dense marketplace. The space to drive was about this wide. I was basically having to ride down what seemed to be like a hallway where everything was darting out at you.
I mean, you got people carrying stuff on their heads back and forth. Chickens are running by you.
People throwing fish, people cooking.
One moment you're smelling the most amazing meal you've ever smelled in your life, and then it smells like the sewer.
That was a really intimidating first ride.
I didn't know what to do. I was just white knuckling it through this little area and trying to get through it.
It was really scary. I didn't run over anything, or I didn't fall off my bike, so I was pretty excited about that.
We made it through the crazy farmers market road, and then we're on our way.
So we finally get to our location. It's a beach, it's lovely, and we shoot around. I'm just excited to kind of be off the motorbike at that point. By the time we're done, we get on the motorbikes, and Ryan's motorbike will not start.
And don't do this to me.
So we're a little freaked out. We might be stranded on this beach.
In the middle of nowhere in Vietnam, there's nobody around. Luckily, all of a sudden out of nowhere, this construction crew comes riding by, and they see us stuck there. And also luckily, Vietnamese people are the nicest people you've ever met. They all hop out of the car and they just start messing it with it. They're taking things apart, they're kickstarting it, and all of a sudden,
Oh, man, all right.
thank God.
We're just so happy. We just felt like they just saved our lives.
And everybody's clapping and hugging each other. Like, they're as excited as I am that the bike started. It's really weird.
I used to think Canada was the nicest country in the world until I went to Vietnam.
They kind of explained to me like, hey, get on your bike and start it and don't slow down. So now I kind of do the whole drive back like it's a little miniature version of Speed on my little motorcycle. I'm not allowed to slow down or stop.
So we ended up in this really kind of fun ride home where any time we might have to stop, we just kind of have to plow on through. That was definitely getting thrown into the fire.
But everything worked out. It was a fun experience. First bike ride was quite the adventure.
It's a whole you're not in Kansas anymore kind of deal.